Hello, you are watching India Today Global. I am Pranay Upadhyay. After 97 days of Pahalgam terror attack, Indian security forces, Indian army has avenged this dastardly terror attack. What has happened? How this Operation Mahadev was launched and successfully completed? I am being joined by senior defense journalist Sandeep Unithan, whom you know and who has always tracked such intriguing stories and always help us to understand and break down these stories. So welcome to India Today Global.
Thanks for having me, Pranav.
Sandeep, so we are discussing this thing. This Operation Mahadev.
Right.
We have killed these 3 terrorists.
Look at the timing of the
day
encounter.
when the parliament was scheduled to debate the Operation Sindoor.
Right there.
But is it a coincidence or a calculated thing, or
as I say, Pranay, in cricket, timing is everything.
Yes.
And in geopolitics and counter-terrorist operations as well, seems to be the case. But be that as it may, we seem to have killed at least one of the people who were involved in the Pahalgam attack. Of course, we are waiting for that official briefing yet. But from what our sources are being telling us at India Today is that at least one of these appeared to be the person who was behind the dastardly Pahalgam attack. And I was just looking at the pictures, Pranay, that you were showing us. That's an M4 rifle there.
yes?
And these are 2 AK-47s.
So this is the M4.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's 2 AK-47 type assault rifles. And the M4 is a US-made weapon.
It's a carbine.
It's a carbine. It's a Colt M4, and a lot of these were recovered in Afghanistan. They were left behind by the United States when they withdrew, and literally tens and thousands of these M4s have found their way into the hands of terrorists. There have been a number of terror attacks in which the M4 is being used. In fact, the joke is, Pranay, in Afghanistan, after 20 years of US intervention, the only thing that has changed is that the Taliban had AK-47s 20 years back, and today they have M4 rifles. So there you have it. So they have these 3 weapons, 3 terrorists, 3 weapons recovered. And
so can we say that he was the mastermind?
This is the person who's believed to be the mastermind. That's Suleiman Shah, alias Musa, a former SSG commando. Now the SSG is Pakistan's equivalent of our Para-SF, Special Services Group. They are one of their most elite units, and the fact
Sandeep,
that
help us understand, why we say that this is an SSG style operation.
Right.
What are the indicators? What are the markers?
Well, good question, Pranay. And when are special forces used? Right? They call special forces because they're used in special situations, right? For special missions, special operations, and that's the way it works with Pakistan's deep state as well. All the so-called special terrorist attacks are carried out by special forces trained terrorists.
So from
2611, 2611 was all special forces trained terrorists. Those 10 terrorists, the way they moved, the way they carried their haversacks, the way they fired, the way they took cover, all of that, if you see the footage, you would think that you were looking at SSG, personnel or commandos. That's exactly how they have been trained. And this one as well.
So prepared for long operations.
Absolutely, highly motivated, physically super fit. Don't go by their looks that they're lean and all. That's how special forces operators are. They're usually very lean, especially the guys who have a long endurance on the ground. These guys were on the run for 3 months.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine, after carrying out this horrific massacre, you have to be absolutely brutal and heartless to kill 25 people,
innocent
looking
people,
at their
actually
faces, defenseless civilians, looking at them, identifying their religion, asking them to read segregating them from the women, shooting them in cold blood, recording that instance,
and especially at a time
incident
when many people were running around. There was so much of human
the
cry.
way they went around, it was like the Terminator style movies. They were walking around like Terminators, and this is exactly, if you've seen the footage from 2611 as well, these guys were walking around like zombies. They were just killing without any mercy, without any remorse. This is a special forces operation because of the kind of terrain that they were involved in. 3 months on the run. They were this area over here, the Dachigam forest, is something like 100 kilometers due west of Pahalgam. And they're supposed to have trekked through the ridge lines to avoid all, A, civilian contact, B, the security forces. And so, when you want absolute perfect operational security, you will want to travel along the ridge lines.
Also, I want you to explain, these visuals as well, because this was the hideout.
Yes.
These are the places where they were hiding, and this is where. So there seems to be some kind of a cover. There was some.
So I'll just explain this cover, Pranay. And when I saw this photograph, when I saw it in the morning, the first thing I reached for was for my copy of the U.S. Army Field Manual 90-5, which is about jungle warfare. And this is exactly how the US military trains its personnel to erect mosquito nets and tarpaulins in the forest when you're in undercover. If you look at the drawings that are there in that field manual, it's exactly
were they
like
hiding in some burrow?
No, this is an open kind of thing with a slight, possibly a slight depression in the ground. And this you can see they've quickly erected this kind of a tent. This is basically to protect them from the elements, from rain and
anything falling from the tree.
Yes, all of that. So they would have taken. There were two like this side by side, and this you can see this thing has been very expertly tied over there.
This one.
Yes, there's a rope over here that's just going up there. So they very quickly tied this thing. They've erected a small kind of an open.
So clearly shows that this is a non-permanent structure.
Yes, they're on the move.
They were in a move.
Yes,
they were on a move.
So it's tarpaulin, and they would have rolled it up, and they would have been possibly sleeping. And now the interesting thing is
very light to carry. They can dispose of at any place.
And a lot of plastic bags that you see around here, which suggests that this was some of the food stuff that they were carrying with them. And here you see a plate right here, which suggests that they were possibly eating their food or something when they were surprised. There's some other plastic bags as well. So these guys were mostly on their own.
It also leads to another question, Sandeep.
Yeah.
It's been almost 3 months.
Right.
97 days. Today is the 97th day of the 22nd April attack.
Yeah.
From where they have been getting food?
Right.
Was there any local support they were getting?
Possibly. I mean, they would have carried a lot of the ration on their bodies. They would have been carrying light food stuff, and this I can tell you from 20 years, and you've been covering it as well, Pranay, for 20 years. What they carry usually is basically high-calorie rations. They carry
protein bars,
nuts, protein bars, tamarind pods to stay awake. All of that. They carry small quantities of very high-calorie food. And of course, they would have some kind of local support as well. There would be an OGW or someone that would be giving them food. But the sensitivity of their mission would indicate the fact that they wouldn't trust too many people on the ground, because Kashmir in 2025 is not
if you
Kashmir
recall,
2015 even.
After this 22nd April attack, there were 2 OGWs arrested first by NIA, and thereafter now I've been told that those OGWs are being taken to identify these terrorists.
Yes.
So that is a part of the investigation.
Now the investigation is going to begin. In fact, the NIA is going to take over now.
Yes.
And because the NIA is already investigating this case, and now they're going to take over this crime scene, and they will look at the this encounter spot, and they will look at all of the evidence that's been collected over there, the weapons, the satellite phones. Now we believe that they were intercepted because one of them activated a satellite phone. That signal was triggered, and that's how they zeroed in on their location. They will look at they will try to crack the satellite phone and see the coordinates on that, who they were in touch with, what are the kind of, where it originated from, where the phone was purchased from. The body cams, Pranay, that's a very important thing. Now,
very important thing.
What they had been carrying on their we believe at least one, if not more, of these terrorists were actually filming this entire cold-blooded execution of the civilians in Pahalgam, the 26 people that they murdered, possibly for use as propaganda. That is also going to be a very
crucial
clinching evidence. Yes. Absolutely. They would, and the NIA works very methodically. They will just go through everything. They will, put down the ammunition that was captured, where the grenades were recovered. I saw, a number of rifle grenades that were recovered from here, which possibly indicates that they were prepared inflict a heavy casualty on security forces if they kind of surrounded them or something. Which is why I would
and
think
if you see, this is the same area where we have like this Amarnath Yatra, and also this Mount Mahadev.
Yes.
So this is the area. This Dachigam area is near that Mount Mahadev. What is the significance of this area? And like if you see the topography of it, I want you to help our viewers understand this issue as well. Like if you see this area, we are in J&K. So help us understand that if they have been caught like in Srinagar, this is the area, and this is the Dachigam National Park. So this is the area, but Pahalgam is on the other side, other axis of Srinagar. So isn't it they have traveled a long distance?
They have traveled at least something like 100 kilometers west of Pahalgam, where they carried out the attack, and from there they've been moving up here towards there is all.
So this is Pahalgam.
Yes.
So let's mark
so they've gone
here.
Yes.
So this is Pahalgam,
and this is roughly where they've been. So they've possibly traveled down this uninterrupted ridgeline kind of thing. There's a lot of forests there, which they can travel very safely without being seen by the security forces or civilians. It's possible that they went there.
But they were still very far from LC.
So possibly they could have been here to carry out another terror attack. Now, you know, the Amarnath Yatra is on Pranay. It ends on the 9th of August, and that is one of the key areas where yatris gather between Gandarbal and Srinagar. So that is an area where they possibly were looking at striking, because they were lying in wait for something 3 months. They were, apart from hiding,
and still they were carrying so much of ammunition.
Yes, they had substantial ammunition. They had a lot of rifle grenades. That's the first thing. The GP25 rifle grenades of Russian origin. That suggests that they were in to carry out some kind
Tell
of
us something
large
more about
attack.
these rifle launched grenades. Like what is the range they can strike?
Well, they are a rifle grenade is something that would typically strike longer than a hand thrown grenade. So which would mean that if a normal thrower is about you can throw a grenade to about 100-200 meters, a rifle grenade would be double that. So it would give them standoff capability to attack say buses or pilgrims at a long distance.
And we have seen in such incidents in Rayasi or in other places.
So I mean, there is that picture of a whole bunch of those grenades. There's something like 20, I counted 20 or 24 of those grenades. That possibly indicates that they were there for one of two things. Either they were ready for a kind of ambush that they were looking at protecting themselves. The other possibility is that they were going to use that to inflict very big significant casualties on civilian targets, likely defended civilian targets, maybe buses and all that. The rifle grenade has a utility of being used against vehicles as well. So it is something of that kind, and it's very clear that they were not there just for
the kind of ammunition also indicates that what could have been the probable targets.
Absolutely, the profile, the ammunition profile, the kind of weapons that a terrorist is carrying is a clear indication of what they were planning to do. And it is possible that their handlers contacted them on their sat phone and they gave them their next mission, what they had to do. See, these guys, this is how terrorists are trained for, jungle warfare. Like you have the American concept of the LRRPs, long range reconnaissance patrols. They infiltrate deep into enemy lines and they lie in wait for months together. Carrying out special missions.
That is another indication of that it's like a commando style operation.
It is entirely a commando style
long
operation.
endurance use,
this kind of
remain
thing,
in hiding.
This cannot be done by normal terrorists. This is a very different breed of terrorists, different from the ones that we've been seeing off late. And clearly the Pakistan army has taken a smaller group of terrorists. It's trained them, especially it is put in its own people, like this SSG guy Musa, who they say he's ex-SSG, but that's plausible deniability. He's definitely part of the SSG. They've just given him a cover of being an ex-SSG.
Accepted their regulars.
So that's right. We have Kargil and Northern Light Infantry. So this is a case in point that they've realized that if you are to carry out acts of extreme brutality. You're supposed to carry out special missions that would demand extreme physical fitness and high endurance. Like you can imagine trekking along ridge lines. It's no joke. And you're doing it for 3 months. You're completely
also,
you're living off the land.
Even after carrying out that attack on 22nd of April, the very fact that they managed to get themselves out, like the extraction plan.
3 months.
Yeah. No, the extraction plan from that area.
They've been planning it for months.
So they ensured the extraction. This itself is an indication that it was a well-planned operation. It's like in a commando style operation, as you rightly mentioned, the SSG style operation. But here, it was the first tweet by the Chinar Corps.
Right.
It's like the contact established in the general area of Lidwas and operation in progress.
Yes.
So after that, we know that how this operation was carried out, and I think within 2 to 3 hours, the operation was over. We have neutralized these 3 terrorists. Now, what will happen next?
Now, Pranay, as I said, the NIA takes over because the NIA has already registered a case in this in the Pahalgam massacre, and now the NIA is going to be all over this encounter site. They will firstly try and conclusively identify the identities of these terrorists, the 3 of them who were killed, whether they were Pakistan nationals, whether this guy was a Pakistan regular, the story of him being the SSG, which we've been told, that came to us from the OGW workers. They will verify those antecedents and they will want to make a watertight case against Pakistan's involvement in this because, the Pakistanis, the world community as well, many countries, the usual doubting Thomases was saying that where is the evidence to link Pakistan to this? And here you have possibly
so take it this case to like say about United Nations Security Council, to FATF or to any other agency or to the global audience as well. What should be there to make it watertight case?
Well, you have to
technical intent.
You have to have a mix of human and tech int, conclusively establishing Pakistan's hand in the massacre. And you look at the timing of it, Pranay. 16th of April is when Asim Munir gives that famous 2-nation theory speech of his. And a week later, you have Pahalgam, and it's carried out by these terrorists, which is why I think
I'll come to the point of General Asim Munir and his activities because he's behaving in certain pattern. After post-op Sindoor, him acquiring the rank of Field Marshal or thereafter his engagement.
That's a good point. Acquiring the rank of Field Marshal,
self-appointed. But besides that, as you mentioned about the making it a watertight case, so you have to have technical int, you have to have the corroboration of the fact that Pakistan was directly involved in this attack. So, and right now we have these 3 dead terrorists.
Yes.
What their dead bodies could establish?
Well, I think they're going to go over the bodies, look at the weapons that were used, look at the equipment, the
origin of weapon,
the origin of the weapon,
as you mentioned about the body cam,
body cam, if it's been recovered. But the most important, a piece of evidence is clearly going to be that satellite phone. If they have actually recovered a satellite phone, which we're being told is a Huawei Chinese-made satellite phone, which links into the Baidu satellite constellation, that would be a piece of clinching evidence. And we saw that in 2611, where we recovered all of this evidence. I mean, the whole 2611 case was meant for the 10 terrorists to basically die fighting with the security forces, and their bodies would be there. Pakistan would deny all involvement.
And in case of 2611, we had a live
terrorist. Yes, so that's where the plan kind of
that was
failed.
Like a game changer thing.
That was
that was the clinching evidence.
And all thanks to that very brave Mumbai police officer Tukaram Omble, Assistant Police Inspector Tukaram Omble. Now in this case, unfortunately, we don't have a live terrorist. But if indeed there was one terrorist who was part of that, or there could be 1 or 2 other terrorists.
But initial report came that
it could be
we issued with the pictures of 4 terrorists, sketches and pictures of the 4 terrorists. 3 of them are dead. One was I think eliminated earlier, but we are yet to corroborate that. But the initial report also suggested that there could have been more terrorists, maybe a group of 7 or 8 terrorists. So are they are more terrorists on loose?
Who knows? We don't, as you correctly pointed out, we don't know the exact number of terrorists who struck in Pahalgam, on that fateful morning. Now, it is for us to ensure that we at least get one of them alive, because a living terrorist who actually reveals plans, like who asked them to do this, why they did it, how the planning was made. That is going to be your Ajmal Kasab right there.
Yeah, but as per your analysis, like you're the post-incident analysis, what you could deduce after it, that is it possible for 4 individuals to carry out these kind of operation, or there could have been?
Absolutely. No. Okay. I mean, look at Mumbai, for instance. Mumbai was
group of
10 terrorists who broke up into 5 buddy pairs. The buddy pair is the basic unit of any commando organization. It's like 2 people operating in a team. So they had these 5 pairs of terrorists who went on to kill 166 people. And in one instance, 2 of them killed more than 50 people. Right? Walking, that's Ajmal Kasab and his...
in the places like Shivaji Terminals, railway station.
Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, they massacred a number of people, Ismail Khan and Ajmal Kasab. And then they walked over, they crossed the overbridge, they went across into a hospital, they killed a few people there. Then they massacred the Maharashtra ATS officers. So it was like 2 people. It's unimaginable for 2 people to create this kind of mayhem. Similarly, I would quite think that it is quite, it's in the realm of possibility for 3 people to kill, 25, 26 people that they did. So while we're still trying to ascertain how many people there were, it would be anything between 3 and 5 terrorists. So even 3 terrorists could well, carry out the kind of massacres as we've seen in the past, Pranay.
But now, what will happen? I'll again come back to that question. That what will happen in case of like these individuals? Now we'll have that facial recognition or the corroboration of
the. Of course, the corroboration. You will get the OGWs. They will be. They will bring the OGWs. They'll bring the witnesses, the eyewitnesses who were there, the families of the terrorists, the hostages who were killed. The families will be brought in. They will be asked to identify these bodies, especially the mastermind. Suleiman Shah,
Hashim Musa or
Hashim Musa, as we being told. What was his role in that? So they will recreate the whole thing based on Suleiman. The other one, this one, that's him, and they will kind of try and ascertain his role in the whole massacre. So it will be a very, very diligent kind of police work. It's a police procedural work which the NI is really good at, because at the end of the day, it's an investigation now.
The initial report came Sandeep, that the army has picked up the technical intelligence or the mode of communication which was linked to the Pahalgam terror attack or their plotters, and they picked up on 11th of July. And this operation happened on 28th of July. So it took at least 17 days to carry out.
So you're talking of several hundred square kilometers of forest, which is almost impenetrable forest. We were talking to General Tiny Dhillon just earlier in the day, and he said that look, there are areas in the forest where even the sunlight doesn't penetrate. It's that thick, it's that dense, and you can't see you can't see more than a few meters ahead of you, 2 or 3 meters. That's how thick the the forest is.
The very topography of it, like you can make out that it's a very thick vegetation.
Absolutely thick. It's it's thick jungle, and you have snow leopards, you have musk deer, you have all kinds of wildlife, jackals, wolves, all of them prowling through this area. So it is thick, impenetrable forest. This is exactly why these terrorists chose this part to hide and to maneuver and to move, because that's exactly how they're trained. That's how guerrillas are trained to fight, and these jungle warriors, the kind of special training that they were given, which it's all about that, to to carry out these massive attacks using very small groups of terrorists.
Finally, coming up to the point of General Asim Munir and his tactics, like recently he managed, or rather he engineered the Nishan-e-Imtiaz conferring to General Michael E. Kurilla, the CENTCOM chief.
Oh, so we're going from guerrilla warfare to guerrilla warfare.
you can say from guerrilla warfare to guerrilla warfare. Yes. Right. So, what does it tell us, about his tactics? And if you see post Op Sindoor, he is extensively traveling almost every second week. He's on a foreign visit. He has traveled to Central Asia, West Asia. He has traveled to to East, to China, to Indonesia, to Sri Lanka. Some people say that he hasn't traveled to Sri Lanka, but to Indonesia there have been pictures. About his China visit there have been pictures. What he's up to?
Well, he's practically the de facto ruler of Pakistan. That's what he's up to. When is the last time you saw a sitting army chief of Pakistan traveling around the way he did? And this is what prime ministers do in democratic countries, true democracies, that is, like ours. And we have a field marshal, a so-called field marshal, self-appointed field marshal, traveling across the world like he's the ruler of Pakistan. And that's exactly what he wants to convey, that I am the person to do business with in Pakistan. It is not Shahbaz Sharif and certainly not Nawaz Sharif. And who's Imran Khan? It is me, Field Marshal Asim Munir. And this entire thing, I am convinced now, over the last couple of months, has been General Asim Munir's ploy. This entire Pahalgam massacre, the subsequently what happened after that, bringing this whole country to an edge.
But last weekend, he got General Michael E. Kurilla to Islamabad. He also called the other, like Central Asian defense chiefs from Uzbekistan to Kazakhstan to Tajikistan to Islamabad, and he actually gave it a shape of a conference, and then conferred the Nishan-e-Imtiaz, which is the highest military award or military honor given to any civilian as well. In the past, they have given it to other military personnel as well, but to General Michael E. Kurilla. Is he the only US general to get this thing?
Well, in the recent years, for sure, because that's their highest civilian award, by the way. It would be equal to our PVSM, Param Vishesha Seva Medal, given to the military. And the whole point is that Michael Kurilla is a very important person as far as Pakistan is concerned today. He's the head of CENTCOM, right? Central Command. And CENTCOM, Pakistan falls under the CENTCOM's area of responsibility. India is Indo-PACOM. Right? So he is clearly playing to the man who he thinks is most important in the region. And Kurilla, if you see it, said that, look, ties with Pakistan, I mean, he says that in the Senate, he says that ties with Pakistan cannot be held hostage to ties with India. So this is a very classic US game where you have CENTCOM being in charge of Pakistan and Indo-PACOM playing, India. And so it's like, they continue to play this game and, ensure that they have great relevance over here in the Indian subcontinent. So Pakistan has understood that game. Asim Munir is the new player on the block, and he's now trying to play the cards in a way that he thinks
from that perpetrator of the Abbey bombing. Handing over that guy to General to Donald Trump.
Think is some low life that they just picked
whatever it is, but the very fact that on the day of his swearing in, President Donald Trump mentioned this fact. That was the first indicator. And I think somewhere we failed to read that thing, that this is coming, because that was a shift. From the previous Trump administration to this Trump administration.
More transactional. I think the Trump administration this time around is more transactional, and Munir has figured that out. See, Pakistan, you have to admit, Pranay, and we've been to Pakistan together. We've looked at Pakistan for several years. Is very good tactically. On the tactics, they're very good. So they will carry out, say, a Kargil, right? But they don't see the strategic. They don't see the long-term game. They don't see the big picture, right? Now, while Kargil might have been tactically brilliant, so-called, and I use inverted quotes when I say that, but it was strategically disastrous.
Absolutely.
You've lost so many of your soldiers. You had to unseat your civilian government for what it was worth, and all of that. But for the Pakistan military, they have to keep fighting according to them.
And as you said, it's a big garrison. Pakistan is not a country.
It's a garrison state. I mean,
it's a garrison
the
state.
whole country is a garrison. It's ruled by the military forever from 1958. It's literally 9 years after they got independence. The military has ruled either formally or informally. And now in this case, for instance, Munir doesn't need to.
Munir has a well-rehearsed playbook of from Ayub Khan to Pervez Musharraf.
And he's figured out one new act to that, which is that all of these, from Ayub Khan to Yahya, Zia and Musharraf, all of them actually, jumped forward and took power. Munir has figured out this very cozy thing where he doesn't really need to take all power and therefore take all the
so-called maintaining the neutrality of establishment.
And you have a facade, you have a civilian facade. So he has Shahbaz Sharif to take all the flack, and you have Munir enjoying all the perks of power.
And benefit.
It's power without responsibility. The buck stops at Shahbaz Sharif's table. And Munir is walking around with his chest puffed up and wearing all those medals and this baton of swinging around that baton of the field marshal. Shahbaz takes the flak, and who's talking about Imran Khan, who until the 7th of May was the most popular man in Pakistan.
And more so, he has shown this way. He has this template to engineer something.
Yes.
And having a brief conflict, and then acquiring the rank of a field marshal.
So, he has done through a soft coup what Musharraf, he has done through a soft coup after Sindoor, what Musharraf had to do with a hard coup after Kargil.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and Musharraf then, because Musharraf believed that he was God's gift to Pakistan, this larger than life, chap who many people say shouldn't have made it past the rank of major. And I completely agree with that, because he thought like a major, very tactical, special forces guy, RT turned special forces. And look where it ended for him, right? On the sad hospital bed in a sad exile in sad Dubai.
So was the case with Munir as well. He was
removed.
He was removed by Imran Khan as DG ISI.
Pranay, that's the thing.
And we have a troubled history with Munir, because he was DG ISI at the time of Pulwama attack, and he was army chief at the time of Pahalgam.
There you go. So, but it never ends well for dictators in Pakistan. I mean, this is history is witness. Every Pakistani dictator who comes, he comes with these grandiose visions of reforming Pakistan, and then they go out as broken men. They are either hunted out by their own people, hounded out of office, or they are in exile, or they are blown to bits. It never ends well for them. And I don't think Munir is going to be any exception, because he's tried to put on this bulletproof cloak of becoming a field marshal, thereby field marshals are for life.
But Sudeep, this is also a reality that it has been our destiny to live with Pakistan and Pakistani. Actually, you can't change geography, and you can also say that it's a revenge of geography. So, but on the other side, like all these generals, they met their destiny, they met their fate, but it took long. We had to wait from 99 to 2007 for Musharraf to go. We took a long time to get rid of. Not exactly we got rid of General Ziaul Haq, but it took a while. Like Munir is also a long-term project.
Munir would be, I would think, a decade. He would be around for a decade. If he is not unseated by geopolitics, and in Pakistan, geopolitics takes these very takes sharp turns. It's not like in India where you lose power, you go into the opposition benches, or you go home, you sit at home, or you retire. In Pakistan, the sharp turn either ends in a blast or
the current situation of Pakistan. Because why I'm asking this question is that recently there is much volatility in KPK. There is a lot of disturbance and turbulence in Balochistan. Though Pakistan Army as an institution, it's a factor. They will not let Pakistan implode or break. But still, situation is not normal. Situation is very serious in
situation
KPK.
Is serious. But they believe,
and they are losing their control in many areas.
Well, they are losing control in many areas. The house is on fire. But the thing is that the
like the Tira incident, where they shot their own people. There's a lot of agitation there.
They've been doing that forever. Look what they did in East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh. They murdered something like close to 1 million of their own citizens, because they wanted to wipe out any trace of independence, of freedom. Right? They wanted to stamp it out. They've done that with utter brutality in Balochistan, Pakhtunistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and all those areas. This is an army that doesn't think twice before using helicopter gunships and fighter jets and artillery against its own people, right? In India, we stop at possibly the medium machine gun, maybe in some cases at a rocket-propelled grenade. Never beyond that. We never use artillery on our people. But in Pakistan, they do that, and that's because the Pakistan military is, ruling the roast there, and for them, every problem is like a nail. They only have a hammer in their hand. And when you have a hammer, the only thing that you have a hammer in your hand is every problem starts looking like a nail. And that's what they've been doing.
That instinction of hitting at that nail.
Bang, 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 bang. So there are a lot of people who say that Pakistan is going to explode and implode and collapse and all of that. But I believe that as long as the Pakistan military exists in the way that it is, and they will never allow Pakistan to collapse, because they are. It's like a host and a parasite, right? the Pakistan military being the parasite, the state of Pakistan being the host. If the host dies, the parasite will perish as well.
Yes.
This parasite will never allow the host to die, because as long as the host is alive, it can continue to suck the blood out of that host, take all its power, get all the land, the money, and the economic thing that the Pakistan military Inc.
Yeah, but Sandeep, how would you make a distinction between the state of Pakistan and the military of Pakistan? It's so intertwined that it's the state itself.
It is now become the state.
Army is an organ of a state.
It is an organ of the state which has now become a de facto state.
Yeah, so state within state.
A state within a state which has its own economic empire, which it's all about the money. It is about tens of billions of dollars of commerce that's at stake here.
They run their own company.
They run their own company, the Fauji Foundation,
company,
they have
DHA,
some cement, DHA, Defense Housing Agency, they have everything, right? They are probably one of the largest businesses within Pakistan. And there is a very brilliant book for those of you watching that, Aisha Siddiqa's Military Inc. It is one of the greatest books ever written on any military, where she, so clinically documents all of this. So, when so much of money is at risk, Pranay, I mean, they would never want to give up power, because you give up power, it means there will be a civilian administration who will come to the forefront and say, why is the military consuming so many resources?
And that's why this relationship is so prone to terror attacks that we have to live with this there. And having Munir in power, and as you rightly pointed it out, that it's a project of maybe a decade. So for a decade, we have to remain prepared for such incidents,
we have to,
we just have to keep this Operation Sindoor going on, because if we have drawn this red line.
Exactly, and we've drawn, the Foreign Minister Jaishankar has drawn 2 or 3 more red lines today, in addition to what the Prime Minister had drawn, the 3 famous red lines about, talks and terror
can't go together,
go hand in hand, the distinction between the state and non-state actors, nuclear blackmail, all of that. 2 more have been added by Foreign Minister Jaishankar, which is about the talks and terror not going hand in hand. I think the Indian state has finally woken up to this this double game that Pakistan has been playing with us for 4 decades. And I think the Prime Minister has been very correct in saying enough is enough. This much and no further. And now I think you're going to see a very, very strident line on Pak-sponsored terror. See, the very fact, what is Sindoor? It's about raising the cost of a low-cost option that existed for decades for Pakistan, 4 decades. That they could keep doing this, war with 1,000 cuts. They'll do a parliament attack. They'll do a terror attack, Mumbai terror attack.
Testing your patience, and when they can't fight you in a conventional way,
so they do it in unconventionally, non-conventional warfare. So, and for them, it's a low-cost option. But then, if you tell a commercial-minded Pakistan military, which is all about money, as we just spoke about, that this terror is no longer a low-cost option. You do terrorism against us, we will raise the cost for you. Then you will have to decide that either you feed your people with the money that you're getting, it will hurt your pocket, it will hurt your bases. Your military infrastructure will be raised to the ground.
The very message that even you and your families are not safe.
Yes. I think that message, once it goes down to the Pakistan military, I think they will have a reassessment of the entire thing. But that's a rational way of thinking, and the Pakistan army is an irrational actor.
Thank you very much, Sandeep, for sharing this perspective, helping our viewers to understand these pictures and this Operation Mahadev. And if you have any thoughts, any opinion about this video or our presentation, do share in comment box, and keep watching India Today Global.